Let's learn English with Dua Lipa.
Yeah, personal relationships, things that were going on, like ups and downs and good dates and bad ones. And yeah, it's like girl chat.
Ups and downs means periods of success and failure, or good and bad times. For example, life is full of ups and downs, like when you get a promotion one day, but face a personal challenge the next.
Until I was like, wait a second, this person doesn't make me feel good, or, isn't very nice to me, isn't kind to me, puts me down, says things that make me feel uncomfortable.
Put someone down means to criticize or belittle someone, making them feel lower. For example, he always puts her down by mocking her efforts.
I don't have to put someone on blast in order for me to get my, catharsis in a way.
Put someone on blast means to publicly criticize, shame, or call attention to someone's mistakes or actions. For example, she put him on blast on social media for not keeping his promises.
How do you make yourself feel better? How do you roll with the punches? How do you pick yourself back up when things aren't working out?
Roll with the punches means facing difficulties or challenges without getting discouraged and continuing to move forward. For example, he lost the game, but instead of getting upset, he rolled with the punches and congratulated the winner.
In every experience, there's something to learn from it. And I love to think about hindsight. That's been something that I've gone back on a lot.
Hindsight means understanding a situation after it has occurred, with the knowledge gained later. For example, in hindsight, I should have studied harder for the exam.
Like, it's so often that when, like, a month later down the line, you look back on something and you're like, man.
Down the line refers to something that will happen in the future, often after a period of time. For example, we might face challenges down the line, but for now everything is going smoothly.
I was freaking out over nothing, or that felt like such a big deal to me at the time.
Freak out means to become extremely anxious, angry, or emotional, often in an exaggerated way. For example, she freaked out when she couldn't find her phone before the meeting.
I'm manifesting these words, and I'm going to be singing them to a lot of people who are going to be singing them back.
Manifesting means bringing something into reality through thoughts, feelings, or visualization, often by focusing on a goal or desire. For example, she believes that by manifesting her dreams, she will eventually achieve them.
Because a sad feeling is much easier to tap into.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bad Twitter comment.
Yeah.
Tap into means to access or make use of a resource, skill, or potential. For example, she learned how to tap into her creativity to come up with innovative ideas for the project.
On a Monday night, there's one club night that I go to, and they just bring DJs from all around the world, and it's just a full-fledged rave.
Do they play your music?
A full-fledged rave is a large energetic party with electronic music, dancing, and vibrant atmosphere. For example, the nightclub hosted a full-fledged rave, complete with lasers, DJs, and a packed dance floor.
I was 14 when I started planting the seed. I was 15 when I moved back to London. But it was also along the lines of, I need to go back and finish my GCSEs.
Along the line means at some point during a process or over a period of time. For example, somewhere along the line, he decided to change his career path.
Things are starting to happen, and I just wanted to keep working. I felt like I was like strapped to a rocket. That's the only way that I can describe it.
Strapped to a rocket means progressing or advancing very quickly. For example, after her debut film became a blockbuster, her career felt like she was strapped to a rocket.
I feel like I need to work really hard to get to where I want to be. Like, nothing's given and nothing's taken for granted. And everything that I want and everything that I have.
Take for granted means to not appreciate or value something. For example, she took her friend's support for granted and only realized its value when she needed help.
I think also not having a kiss at midnight is fine, because you have no idea how the year's going to pan out. It's going to surprise you.
Pan out means to turn out or result in a particular way, often successfully. For example, their plan didn't pan out as expected.
I think you just have to keep it moving. Like, just go out with your other friends, the good ones. Get someone to wingman you and introduce you.
Get someone to wingman means asking for help in socializing or flirting. For example, I asked my friend to wingman for me at the party to help start a conversation with that girl.
Respond to those messages you haven't, or procrastinating on your emails like I do all the time. Maybe get onto those.
Procrastinating means delaying or postponing tasks or actions, often by avoiding them or focusing on less important things. For example, I kept procrastinating on my assignment and now it's due tomorrow.
It's your moment, baby, don't let it slip. Coming closer, you're reading my lips. They say I come and I go. Tell me all the ways you need me.
Read my lips means to listen carefully what I am saying. For example, read my lips, this is the last time I am explaining it.
In the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the madness, it's how do you walk through the fire when things aren't going your way.
Walk through the fire means to face and overcome difficulties with courage. For example, you walked through the fire to achieve success.
I don't know, you're so self-sufficient that when somebody does come along, you're not codependent.
Self-sufficient means able to manage without outside help. For example, he became self-sufficient after learning to manage his finances and daily tasks independently.
You should do a new version of New Rules where you add something about licorice.
It's a big ick.
Hey, before we go to our next game.
Big ick means a strong feeling of dislike or discomfort. For example, she got a big ick when he chewed with his mouth open.
Everybody.
This is the thing that you'll be thankful for when you have a second wind.
You know what we should call this drink?
What?
The second wind.
The second wind.
Second wind means a sudden burst of energy or renewed strength after feeling tired or exhausted. For example, after a short break, she got her second wind and finished the race strong.
The first song that I put out was called New Love. I put that out in 2015.
Put out means release or make available something. For example, the band put out a new album last week.
I'm so lucky to have so many pinch me moments in my life.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a massive one.
Pinch me moments refers to unbelievable or surreal experiences that feel like a dream. For example, winning the lottery was a pinch me moment for her.
He did give me a very lovely, memorable gift. Sir Elton John put a ring on it.
He put...
Put a ring on it means to commit to someone through engagement or marriage. For example, if you love her, it's time to put a ring on it.
I don't know, not something that I like to brag about, but I think I'm a good drinker.
Yeah.
Brag means to talk with pride, often excessively about something you have or have done. For example, he couldn't stop bragging about his new car.
And then we were like, all right, let's have some lunch. And I was like, oh, great.
Let's cut means let's leave or let's stop. For example, the party is boring, let's cut.
It depends. It's like, it's so high octane, you know, when I'm on the road. It's like 5 weeks of just non-stop.
High octane means something that is energetic, powerful, or intense. For example, the concert was a high octane performance that kept the crowd excited all night.
Come on, dance with me. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride.
Levitating means rising or floating in the air. For example, the magician amazed the audience by levitating above the stage.
And I thought I had the last laugh until tonight.
Having the last laugh means to get the final victory.
So let's give it a shot. I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Give it a shot means to try something.
She just smashed it, and I think I was so close to crying.
Smash means to succeed or do something impressively.
Ended up at the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, and who do I bump into but my parents?
Bump into means to meet someone unexpectedly or to accidentally hit something.
And now my third album just dropped, and it's called Radical Optimism.
Drop means releasing or launching something.